Tea time. Did you hear about the drama that happened at the Cubbyhole Lesbian bar in New York? Well, apparently Lexi was hanging out with her friend one night, and her friend happens to be a lesbian, and she invited her to come to the Cubbyhole bar. And Lexi said, "Okay, yeah, let's vibe. Let's go on over there." Lexi said she went to the bar, which is like one of the oldest bars in New York. It's very small, very intimate, just a safe place for lesbian women to go and meet and interact. But Lexi's loving it. She's eating it up. She's having a good time. The music is great. And she says she gets a text message from a guy friend of hers, and he's like, "Oh, I want to meet up with you right quick." And she said, "Oh, just come on over to this bar." So she says he comes to the bar, she sees him, and they just standing there, and all of a sudden a lesbian girl walks up to him and confronts him. "What are you doing here?" And she said at first she was just like, "Wait a minute." And she tells the girl, "He's with me." And the girl kind of backs off, but then it starts to get ugly because the girl starts continuing to antagonize her. And that's what Lexi says, and she don't understand why any issue like that would happen. Nobody's ever confronted anybody about being in a public space before. Here's KP. She enters the chat. KP says that she is the lesbian in question, and the story didn't go quite the same. KP says she's been going to that bar for 10 years. She's like, she's a married woman, but she likes to go out and vibe, and this is a safe space for lesbians to be without having to worry about men hitting on them or have to worry about any kind of confrontations. She says she goes into the bar. She's hanging out. She goes to the restroom. She's standing in line at the restroom, and there's a man who's standing there. He looks like he's straight, and he's like standing in the way. So she tapped him on the shoulder, and he's just looking at her like, and she's like, "What are you even doing here?" And he looks at her like, "What?" But Lexi answers for him and said, "He's with us. He's good. He's good." And she says, "Okay." This is what KP said. KP said she just backed off, continued to wait so she can go and use the restroom. And she says the man turns back to her and says, "And if I wasn't with them, would there be a problem?" Ooh. So KP tells the man, there absolutely would be a problem if you weren't with them. This is a lesbian bar. And she said, after she said that to him, Lexi and all her friends, a whole group of girls came yelling and screaming at her in her face, like confronting her, like, this is not, you better stop. You can't talk to him like that. You can't talk to us like that. Just going off on him. She said she let it go. She backed off. And she said afterwards, after the bar was over, everybody was standing outside, and when she saw Lexi looked at her and said, "There go that bitch right there." So the drama is the fact that everybody is going off on Lexi right now because she said they're saying she's a straight woman trying to infiltrate a lesbian space. What they're saying is New York and the entire country does not have a lot of lesbian bars. We don't have a lot of places where women can go and just be free from the male gaze and from being hit on and to feel safe. And for Lexi, a straight woman, to bring a straight man in there and then to argue with another woman, to be confrontational with another woman, that is absolutely unheard of and absolutely unwelcome and absolutely ridiculous. And everybody's going off on Lexi, saying you and your straight people entitlement need to get the hell out of our New York bars. And this is happening right now. So let's continue to watch the drama and see if anything else unfolds.